Well, the Farm Bill has passed. So now what? Thank you for joining us here on the program. That piece of legislation has finally passed. The president signed the Farm Bill into law. We'll find out what's next on the agenda. Also, we start something new with the Vet Tech program in Curtis. We have a segment to show you, and also find out how drones are being used on the Nebraska farm. This is all coming up here in the show. After years of skyrocketing land prices and increased profits, farm income is set to drop this coming year. A new USDA report says net farm income for 2014 is expected to be around $96 billion. That's a 27% drop from last year, the lowest forecast since 2010. However, it's still above the previous 10-year average. It's no secret what's behind the downward-looking trend. Crop prices are down, but the report isn't all doom and gloom. They find historically low levels of debt, which reaffirms the sector's strong financial position. A little confused about the economic outlook? Here's your chance to hear from university experts. The 9th annual Cornhusker Economics Outlook meeting will be in Hastings March 3rd. Expect a fast-paced discussion of crops, livestock, and land prices. Experts will also have an update now that the Farm Bill has passed and what that means for producers. In addition, local extension educators will talk about farm rental rates. All of that will be packed into a 2.5-hour meeting. Contact Adams County UNL Extension Office for details. The USDA is reaching out to rural communities, especially those dealing with poverty. Here's more about the Strike Force initiative.
Getting help to where it's needed most is the aim of the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Strike Force initiative. Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack was in Kentucky recently to announce the initiative's expansion to that state, Louisiana, Tennessee, and West Virginia, bringing the total Strike Force states to 20.
537 counties out of 703 counties that are persistently poor in this country are rural. And I think it speaks to the need for intense focus and concentration of resources and leveraging of resources, making it easier for people who have not had much success accessing programs to be able to access the benefit of those programs.
Strike Force gets USDA agencies to coordinate efforts with local community groups to target disadvantaged areas.
We're liable to leverage those dollars with additional local resources. And so we'll get bigger bang for the buck, and I think we'll have more success more quickly, which should provide an additional level of confidence in the federal government's ability to deliver services that matter.
Kentucky Governor Steve Beshear praised efforts by the federal government to work with local governments and groups.
Nothing ever gets accomplished without collaboration and cooperation. Collaboration between the public and private sectors, between different levels of government, and among various segments of society.
Meanwhile, Secretary Vilsack says the Strike Force concept is being modeled by the rest of the federal government through the White House's Promise Zone effort to address persistent poverty. For the U.S. Department of Agriculture, I'm Bob Ellison.
Deere & Company said its first quarter net income rose 5%. However, they're expecting a slowdown when it comes to equipment sales. High crop prices put money into farmers' pockets and drove a boom in demand for Deere's tractors and other motorized farm gear. But Deere says demand for farm equipment is moderating. It says farm and construction equipment sales will fall 3% this year and fall 6% in the second quarter. It's what so many people were waiting for. Finally, a farm bill has passed. Now it's time to let it get put to work. And Ag Secretary Vilsack has this to say.
We are going to be focusing as much of our time and resources as we possibly can in implementing all of the various provisions of the Farm Bill as quickly, as efficiently, and as correctly as possible.
Secretary Vilsack also released a statement when the bill was signed, saying it will allow the proud men and women in agriculture who feed millions around the world to invest confidently in the future. You may see that snow melting here now across the area, but as far as moisture, it really wasn't a whole lot. The groundwater level monitoring report shows significant groundwater levels declining throughout Nebraska. Almost the entire state, with the exception of a small area in the Sandhills, saw declines last year. From spring of 2012 to the spring of 2013, every county in Nebraska experienced a water level decline greater than 1 foot, with the exception of Grant, Hooker, and Thomas counties. Some parts of Nebraska saw one-year water level changes of almost 25 feet. You might have heard the buzz about sustainability. To many people, it means many different things. Some say it means the humane treatment of animals. Others say that it's using less chemicals on the farm. UNL experts, they weigh in on what they think sustainability is.
Well, to me, sustainability, especially in agriculture, is being able to get enough income to offset your expenses.
My first reaction probably is an environmental sustainability.
To me, sustainability, the first thing that comes into mind is what I deal with, and that'd be the rangelands or native grasslands.
Sustainability is being used in a lot of different ways. Some of it's environmental, where we look at the carbon footprint.
Maintain a high diversity of plant species, productive plant species out there, and that we know that we can harvest and do some grazing of that resource each year, year after year after year.
It's not sustainable from an economic standpoint. It doesn't matter how environmentally sustainable it is.
Walmart and McDonald's have just come on board with the beef sustainability clause that all the producers are going to have to be sustainable. Who's going to define what that sustainability is? That's the big question.
You're asking the question because of the complexity and the way different people think of sustainability.
Producers will look at it one way. I'm sure McDonald's will look at it different. Walmart will look at it different. Consumers may have a different opinion. But this is going to be really interesting in the future as we look to really what is sustainability. But I think for me, myself, it's just being able to stay in the business.
Chick-fil-A says they're going to stop selling meat from chickens raised with antibiotics. Consumers have been demanding this change. Chick-fil-A will join Chipotle and Panera Bread in serving antibiotic-free chicken. Antibiotics are used in livestock to prevent disease and to assist with the growth of the animals. But the FDA says the use of antibiotics in livestock is contributing to the rise of dangerous bacteria and the problem of antibiotic resistance. The wave of the future on the farm? Technology. It can help with production, it can help with conservation, but some say that on the farm they're being attacked by their practices. Here's a look.
And being an agronomy major as a female is different.
Going into a male-dominated field, Sky Sabatka says there's no reason women can't be leaders on and off the farm.
I see it as an opportunity for me to really make a spot for myself as a woman. I mean, I had 2 brothers and 2 sisters growing up, and my dad and my uncle both farm for a living.
Just as she's changing perception of what an agronomist looks like, Farm Bureau's Young Farmer and Rancher Group wants to change the public's view of agriculture.
I think it is up to us entirely.
Farmers, especially young ones, face huge economic challenges.
Input costs are very scary, and especially when corn was high and input costs went up, and now corn's down, so your profit margin is getting slimmer.
Banker, farmer, and mom.
We have 4 girls.
Andrea Simon of Burwell says it's worth the financial risk to enjoy the lifestyle.
Our girls all love farm and ranch.
That survey of this group finds young farmers are concerned that they're not portraying that image. They're also concerned about the growth in what they see as activist groups opposed to Nebraska agriculture. Sky may work on the farm, but says she's most interested in a career that engages consumers.
Informing the general public.
Whether it's that gap from the field to the fork or the financial picture, young farmers face challenges.
But there's still a lot of young people that enjoy the lifestyle and want to keep it going.
Now a reminder, FFA week kicks off this week, and we want to see your area FFA members. Send in pictures. Let us know what you're doing in your area, and we want to see those FFA members in action. You can email us, grow@nebraska.tv. Find us on Facebook and Twitter. And now, here's a picture of NCTA livestock judging team. 2 teams went to the Denver Stock Show. Sophomore Blake Hodson of Curtis was in the top 20 of the collegiate livestock judging contest. The freshman also competed in Denver and helped the Ritter Hereford Ranch of Callaway exhibit their carload pen of bulls. This pen of bulls won their class. A big congratulations to all of you. Do you have a chicken on your farm? There are many benefits to having a couple of those. We'll explain. Plus, we'll tell you about the latest in care and why chickens are used at the Vet Tech School in Curtis. That's coming up after the break. We also have your grow forecast. Don't go anywhere.